Long ago, in the kingdom of Avalon, there lived a wise and just king named Arthur. Known for his fairness, he was deeply respected by his people. Yet, the king had one peculiar trait. He seldom spoke in public. This silence often led his courtiers and neighboring rulers to question his leadership. They believed a great king should inspire his people with stirring speeches and grand declarations. One day, Avalon faced a dire threat. A massive storm destroyed crops across the kingdom, leaving many villages on the brink of famine. The neighboring kings, seeing Avalon's weakened state, began plotting invasions. Meanwhile, the people grew anxious, whispering doubts about their king's silence. "Why doesn't he speak to calm us?" they murmured. "Doesn't he care about his kingdom?" The court advisors urged King Arthur to address his subjects, but the king remained quiet. Instead, he summoned his trusted knights and set out on a journey across the kingdom. Arthur visited the affected villages, observing the damage firsthand. He met farmers, fishermen, and craftsmen, listening to their concerns. Without making grand promises, he mobilized the royal treasury to purchase grains from neighboring lands. He sent his engineers to rebuild damaged irrigation systems and instructed his knights to protect supply routes from raiders. In the court, some nobles grumbled. "Our king does not speak of his plans. How will the people trust him?" But soon, the results of the king's efforts became visible. Grain began to arrive in abundance, filling the empty granaries. Farmers received tools and seeds to restart their work, while roads and bridges were repaired swiftly. The people, seeing the king's dedication, began to praise his leadership. Meanwhile, the neighboring kingdoms, hearing of Avalon's quick recovery, hesitated to invade. One neighboring king, Roland, was especially curious. How has Arthur managed such a swift revival? He wondered. Roland sent a messenger to Avalon, requesting a meeting. When he arrived at Arthur's court, he found the king surrounded by his people, not giving a speech but working alongside them to distribute food and supplies. When King Roland finally met Arthur, he asked, "Your Majesty, how have you restored your kingdom without grand proclamations or fiery speeches?" Arthur replied with a simple smile. "Words can inspire, but actions solve problems. A king's strength lies not in his voice, but in his deeds." King Roland was humbled. He returned to his land, adopting the same approach, and soon his people began to thrive as well. Back in Avalon, the people sang songs of their silent yet decisive king. Arthur's quiet leadership became a beacon for rulers across the land, proving that true power lies in action. Moral actions speak louder than words. True leadership is shown through deeds, not empty promises.